there, and welcome back to another Bringing the Zoo to You. I'm Brooke, and I'm a livestock keeper here. And here we have our giraffe, Zuri. As you can see, Zuri is enjoying a little enrichment item that I had made with some sweet potatoes in it. Zuri's in here eating. Our other female, Billy, is outside. Oh, there she came in just right now. And Zuri here is kind of the, not bully, but she's the one that pushes everyone around when she wants to do something like food. Hey, we have food. Zuri's gonna be the one to get it. She is our shortest giraffe, but she has the biggest personality. So we can see Billy, she's trying to get another enrichment item here that we have more lettuce and more sweet potatoes inside. Billy is our more shy giraffe. She likes to get to know you before coming up close, taking treats from you. She likes slower movements. She does not like anything new. For example, we put a new enrichment item once on the side and they didn't know what it was. Billy just stayed in the back staring. Zuri, however, has a different approach to things that tend to be a little bit scary to giraffe. Instead of shying back, she runs towards it to find out what it is, which makes it also interesting. And you can see here how Zuri is using this enrichment item is with her tongue. And that is how giraffes are going to eat. In the wild, they can obviously have a really long neck to reach the top of the trees. They can also use that long tongue that can be over 18 inches long. And you can see Zuri's got a pretty big one, and she knows where these trees are. She's waiting for them. So BT is currently outside in the yard since it is warm enough today. BT is separate from the girls just because we don't want any breeding at this time. So BT gets to enjoy the lovely yard. BT is our oldest giraffe, and he's slow and steady. He likes to get there when he gets there. He takes his time, and we'll see him outside. I find him so regal and just beautiful, and all the giraffes here have such different personalities, so it's so much fun to work with them and create all this enrichment for them. As you can see, we have enrichment down here. We have enrichment hanging up on our winches, and that is just different ways for them to eat, different things for them to do. You know, especially inside on colder days, they can use their mind in order to solve puzzles. Sometimes we give them harder enrichment than this, and sometimes I just give it to them easy because I just love watching their tongues. So our giraffes here too are also involved in training, which does help us with taking care of them. And you saw earlier in February, BT with his hoof training, he does that. Zuri is currently learning how to do foot training and present her feet. But all the girls they know how to back up if we need them to back up. They know to come closer. They also do something that we call tongue. As we ask them to extend their tongue and wrap it around our finger, that gives us a good look at their tongue. And it's also just fun to be able to watch their long purple tongues. So here giraffes in the wild are endangered. There is not a lot of many giraffes, and a lot of people don't know there's actually less giraffes than elephants. And you know, people think of elephants as, you know, the major issue in Africa, but it's also giraffes. So we work here at Rolling Hill Zoo to get the message out about our giraffes here and the giraffes in the wild, to just spark some interest and get people to know what is going on and the silent extinction with giraffes that's happening. And you know, I could talk all day about it. I just love giraffes. So right now we're at the feeding platform where the public can feed the giraffes, and I brought out a few of his favorite treats just for you guys to see BT and how much he loves biscuits. And sometimes it's funny because they do have, you know, back teeth. They've got teeth on the bottom, but you can't always hear him chew. So I just like to think he's swallowing them whole. He likes them so much. So one thing we let our giraffes do is we call for tongue. And BT is sometimes stage fright about it. He just has to work up the courage apparently, because you know, there he goes. And you can see what we do is we ask for tongue with our pinky, and that tells the giraffe to stick out his tongue and wrap it around our fingers, so that way it's also cool for the guests to see, but also we can get a good look at their tongues in case anything would happen. Come on. And he is still being a little shy. His tongue is a lot longer than that. You put a block in there for his hoof and he'll place it no problem, but I don't know if you guys can see, but his tongue is a darker color, sometimes, you know, more blue or purple, and people think that that's because what giraffes do all day long in the wild is reaching out and grabbing for browse. And they think that way it helps protect this tongue from sunburn. So that's pretty cool. And if you look at BT's head here, his head is awfully large. He's also a very large animal. And his head is different than the girls. So if you look on the top of his head, on his ossicones are bald. And male giraffes have bald ossicones. And that is due to the rubbing, to the fighting, to the necking that they do with other giraffes. So it kind of rubs that hair off. Our females, if you looked inside, have little tufts of hair. Sometimes the top's a little bit bald from them playing with things, but they are a lot more fuzzier than BT's here. He also, right here on the top of his head, has another large bump. That is another type of ossicone that is growing, and the ossicones are just ossified bone. So if you were to see a giraffe skeleton, the head, he would have those ossicones attached to his head because they are made out of bone. My big boy. So BT is slow and steady. He is also a person that likes to, you know, get up in your face when you have biscuits, as you can see. But also, you kind of also have to be a little bit more cautious around him, because if I were to move too fast, he does not like that. He doesn't really like us touching around his head. So that's not something we do with him. We don't touch his head. We try and be real slow when we're training, when we're feeding biscuits, just to keep him calm and safe, and us safe as too. My big boy. And BT here is a very large giraffe. He is one of the tallest male giraffes you'd probably see in a zoo, well over 18 feet. Which is kind of funny because Zuri is a very short giraffe for a giraffe species. So when they are together, it looks really funny. You would almost think that she's a younger giraffe, but she's not. She's 10, she's full grown. It's just, he's really tall and she is really short. Hi, buddy. Well, hopefully we can all open soon and you guys can come out to the zoo and feed BT and our girl giraffes here. Thanks for listening to me and another episode of Bringing the Zoo to You.